What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Fourth and Goal, and I am back again with another video, man. And over the last couple months, I've been studying the business side of the NFL, so like contracts, trades, trade values, draft pick values, and all kind of things like that. And I found some really interesting things that doesn't really get put in the spotlight of the public, mainly because some of this stuff can be very, very complicated and can be very, very boring for your casual viewer, which I just want to see, just guys get their helmets knocked off. But the business side can get really interesting, and it can make you look at the game a whole lot different. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys some really interesting things about contracts and trades and things like that. So let's get straight into the video. So I'm sure we all heard the term dead cap, right? Like, what is dead cap? But when somebody dies, it's permanent, right? Like, there is no going back to it. And pretty much in NFL dead cap, that's what it is. A dead cap figure is pretty much a guarantee signing that a player signs, and the team owes them this money no matter what. If they get traded or if they get released, like, they owe them this amount of money no matter what. So there is some pretty interesting dead cap numbers for this year. I think retiring is a little bit different because that's the player giving up, not the team. So sometimes they can say, yo, we give you half or we give you full. A more recent example was the 2020 or 2019 Indianapolis Colts when Andrew Luck retired. They told him, yo, you're quitting, but still we're going to give you your full salary or your full contract. So he was getting paid throughout the years until his contract was up. But another number that doesn't get talked about is Tom Brady. He's getting paid $35 million this year. As you can see on the right hand side, that's 15% of the cap space this year. 15%. And mind you, well, I'm not gonna say he quit. He retired. Bro's getting old. But $35 million, and mind you, this goes toward the team cap. And the Buccaneers, they could have used that on a different quarterback. They could have used that in some different areas of the team. But the fact that they owe him still $35 million is insane to me, man. And so since we're on this topic, man, it was a player that was released. Again, when the team releases you or trades you, they still owe you some money. And this player was on the payroll after being released about 2 or 3 seasons ago, and that player is Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas was getting paid by the Ravens up until last year. Remember, he got released like in 2020, I believe. So he was getting paid from 2020 up until last year. Because mind you, he did sign like a 4-year contract with the Ravens. He had about $32 million in guaranteed, and so the Ravens had to pay him $32 million in guaranteed money. And in 2021, he got paid $10 million, man, on the payroll. Not a really big, significant like cap hit. Well, it was like 5%. I'm sorry, but last year he got paid about $1 million, which that's nowhere near as much as $10 million. But still, the fact that he was getting paid while not being on the team, man. Earl Thomas, man, I miss you. Please come back or get healthy or, get your mental right. Obviously, well, he probably can't come back because he's old. But I just found that pretty funny with the fact that he was still getting paid while not being on the team, man. Which $10 million, man, while not playing football. Hey, got his bag, though, man. But now we got to talk about trades, man. And this is where, like, the salary cap stuff, it gets a little bit interesting. And, like, this is where I really was intrigued in it because when you look at like salary cap or you look at trades, you would think like in the NBA, if you trade for a player that makes $40 million, you're going to take on that $40 million contract. But in the NFL, it's just completely different. There's a base salary, the signing bonus. That's where all the money is. And if you trade for a player, you are responsible for his base salary, not his signing bonus of that year. And I think there is like a deadline date during the offseason to have that. But a prime example of this, I'm just going to say it, is Jalen Ramsey going to the Dolphins. Okay, the Rams still owe him about $19 million in like signing bonuses and his reconstruction deal and things like that. He got about $9 million in that. So the Rams still owe him about $19 million. That's why they still don't have any money still this offseason and why they couldn't make any moves. And I think the Dolphins owe him about like $1 million, $2 million at most as his base salary. But like his signing bonus, the Rams will have to pay that. They have to eat that up. But next year the Dolphins are going to be responsible for like his base salary, his signing bonus, his roster stuff, and all that stuff. But as of right now, the Dolphins are like they owe him nothing. I think I think they can still trade him, and the Rams still owe him that money, and the next team will take on his 2024 and beyond stuff. And if we're on trades and stuff, Trey Lance, another recent trade that happened, and the Cowboys, they don't own him the next 2 years and like signing bonuses and things like that. This year, the Niners, they will owe Trey Lance about $8 million in like signing bonuses and things like that. But remember, they did pick up his fifth option, and the Cowboys didn't. But I would think that the Cowboys will owe him his 2024 money, but they don't. They only owe him his base salary, and the Niners will still pay him his $5.5 million signing bonus. So pretty much the Cowboys owe him nothing. So this is a high reward, low risk move for him, pretty much from the financial standpoint. So that's a mega win for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. A rare one, a very rare but big one. Pause. But moving on, man, we got to talk about some potential market resetters. Pretty much a market resetter is the guy who jumps up to the number one spot at the pay position, but it's at a significant mark, and pretty much everybody else wants around that same amount of money. We got to talk about the wide receiver position. The most valuable contract right now, or the most expensive, is Davante Adams at 5 years, $140 million, which is about $28 million per year. Obviously, again, all that's not guaranteed. If he gets hurt, if he gets cut, all that, blah, blah, blah. But the main question is, can Justin Jefferson top that deal? A 5 year, $160 million, a 5 year, 145. Like, what's Justin Jefferson's next deal going to be? Because pretty much every year he's gotten better. He's pretty much the best player offensively in the NFL. So besides the quarterback, like, it's going to be crazy to see like what's his contract is going to be when he puts when it comes out and he put his pen to the lines. It's going to be super crazy, man. But finally, one of the biggest contracts in the NFL is about to come to an end, and he'll be a free agent next summer, man. Or, sorry, 2 summers. That is Khalil Mack. He signed a 6-year, $141 million deal with the Chicago Bears after he got traded from the Raiders to the Bears, like the last preseason game during that offseason or whatever. And, man, nobody has yet to top that on the defensive side of the ball. First off, 6 years is crazy. 6 years. I don't think nobody on offense really has that besides like quarterbacks, and really it's just Mahomes. And then 141, he is like, his average a year is not too crazy. Aaron Donald still holds that at around 31, but still 6 years, $141 million, man, is insane. Like, that's probably the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life from a non-quarterback position, man. But I mean, if you remember, though, Khalil Mack was dominating back in his day, back in his heyday, and obviously he has slowed down because of his age. I think he's around 32, maybe 33. So yeah, his age definitely does play a big part in that. But besides that, though, man, this is a quick little video on some interesting facts about the salary cap and trades and things like that. It's your boy 4th and Goal, and I'm out, man. Peace.